Gujarat and India. On the base of that, we, very from initiation of the day of installation, thought to be started the interactive session with the businessmen who are very eager to have a business with various countries in the world from Gujarat, Surat. And that's why the 5 countries and their representatives, consulates and officers are here to interact with you. It must not be a formality only, but it's a great initiation to achieve the big figure of bilateral trade of 84,000 crores of rupees. We would like to give a good message to our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, that we are here. You are not only Modi, we are also Modi. So we are the people of India who have spirit to do the business in a different way at the larger level. It is not today only, but it was in the 15th, 16th, 17th century. Really it was from 11th century. International trade had been started in 11th century. But at this moment I would like to tell you, my dear friend, that spirit we need to revive, reinitiate and restart to achieve the goal of 80,000 crores of rupees dealing with these countries. And I hope you will find the new opportunities, new ways to have the business with these countries, and you might have the facility to resolve the problems, obstacles, difficulties or hurdles what you have on the way of doing your business in these countries. Step by step we will go fortnightly or monthly, having a different countries consulate generals here in these premises to have deliberations with them and to solve the problems if any there, and thereby to enhance our export, imports and bilateral trade with this country. I would like to thank you all the consul generals, their representatives and officers for being here and to interact with our businessmen again and again. Thank you very much.
Thank you Ramesh Bhai for that very inspiring and welcome speech. We would like to felicitate our guests with bouquets. So I would request our President first to begin with felicitation and provide a bouquet to Ms. Bizunesh Mezeret, the Deputy Head of Mission of Ethiopia. So Ramesh Bhai will please send an oral felicitation to Her Excellency Ms. Bizunesh Mezeret. I request President to please continue felicitations. I would request him to extend floral felicitation to the Consul General of Malaysia, Mr. Yusuf. And now Ramesh Bhai will extend floral felicitation to the Acting Consul General of Indonesia, Mr. Ubaidi. Ramesh Bhai, stay there to, and now we welcome Mr. Demezew Tekle. He is the Minister in charge of business in the High Commission Office of Ethiopia. Next, I request Ramesh Bhai to, and I invite Mr. Shukur to accept the floral felicitation from President Ramesh Bhai. He is the Consul for Investment in the Consulate General of Malaysia. And next, I request Milind Godbole. He is a very, very good and a very old friend, a friend of SGCCI, yes, of course. And he is in the office of, he's a senior trade advisor in the office of the Deputy High Commissioner of UK. And he is based at Ahmedabad. So United Kingdom is perhaps the first country to have their Deputy High Commission office in Gujarat and in Ahmedabad. So he is a part of that office since then. Friends, so that is all about the felicitations, and now we go straight to business, and I invite Her Excellency Ms. Buzi Nesh, in very short we call her Ms. Buzi, to come and tell us about the opportunities of doing business with Ethiopia. Please, ma'am. But before that, I think we will go for the lighting of the lamp. Yeah, I think all the guests can join in the lighting of the lamp for the inauguration of this program.
Good afternoon, all of you. Namaskar. Honorable dear management team of Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Especially congratulations for the new president. Congratulations, Mr. And I wish all the best for your new tenure. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to start by expressing my gratitude to the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry for inviting me to be part of this interactive session and for giving me the opportunity to address the South Gujarat business community regarding the investment opportunity of Ethiopia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia and India have had historical linkage with centuries-old relationship dating back to more than 2,000 years of recorded history. Trade relation between Ethiopia and India flourishing during the ancient Aksumite Empire from the 1st century AD. The earliest recorded evidence of our bilateral commercial engagement is in the form of Indian traders coming to the ancient Red Sea port of Atlas to trade silk and spices for gold and ivory. Ethiopia has achieved a robust and sustained economic growth and has registered a double-digit annual GDP growth rate for the last 2 decades. And I'm happy to note that India has been a strong partner in this growth trajectory through trade, investment, and sharing of expertise, as well as through the large and vibrant Indian business community present in my country, Ethiopia. Indian companies are the third top and largest investors in Ethiopia, with newer Indian business marketing their presence in the country. Currently, there are over 607 Indian companies in Ethiopia with a licensed investment of over $5 billion and employs about 75,000 Ethiopian nationals. About 61% of Indian investment in Ethiopia are in manufacturing sector, followed by agriculture, accounting for 14%. Ethiopia has substantial investment potential, has more to offer. Recently, the government unveiled the 10-year economic development plan titled Ethiopia, an African Beacon of Prosperity. This 10-year plan targeted bring quality-based economic growth, increase production and competitiveness, build a green and climate resilient economy, as well as achieving institutional transformation. Agriculture, textile and apparel, leather and leather products, mining, tourism, urban development, innovation, agro-processing and technology are the key development sectors of the plan, and emphasis is given that it will guarantee private sector lead growth. This presents good opportunity for Indian companies which want to expand their reach in Ethiopia, particularly, and in Africa in general. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, when we see the trade relation of two countries, there is much to be done to improve this area of relation. The bilateral trade between Ethiopia and India stood at 1.03 billion USD in 2021 and to 2022, after which India's exports to Ethiopia were 422 million USD and imports were 613 million USD. India is the third most important source of imports for our country, contributing more than 8% of all Ethiopians' imports. As for the tourism sector, Ethiopia has much of offer to Indian tourists. Ethiopia is an ancient country whose unique culture, heritage, rich history, and remarkable biodiversity are reflected in a tally of 9 UNESCO World Heritage sites, more than any other countries in Africa. That's why Ethiopia is land of origin. Ethiopia tourism sector is still young, with vast untapped resources and a range of investment opportunities like ecotourism, spa tourism, health tourism, sport tourism, adventure tourism, resort and lodges, and star-rated restaurant and tour operations are some of the opportunities available to foreign investors in the sector. I'm confident that this short brief information will help the investors who are present here today to better understanding to untapped and unexploited investment potential of Ethiopia. In conclusion, I would like to assure you that our embassy will always to open to support you in your next journey of establishing your presence in Ethiopia. I would like to introduce here my colleague, Mr. Demiso, is charged for the investment and the development affairs. He can help you anytime when you come to our embassy in New Delhi. Welcome to you all. Thank you very much. Dandevar.
Yeah, thank you very much, madam. And let's have the video of opportunities with Ethiopia.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank the South Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry for giving us this opportunity to present to you the opportunities in the manufacturing sector in Ethiopia. And I would like to congratulate the incoming president for assuming the responsibility for the coming year. So I will be taking, not that much of your time, because we have to catch our flight. So we'll be running out as soon as I finish from here. But I will leave my card with the chamber colleagues, so that if you need any information or further information, you can get our contacts from the chamber people. So my presentation is the investment opportunities in the manufacturing sector in Ethiopia. So manufacturing sector, the vision is to make Ethiopia manufacturing industry globally competitive, enable it to contribute to job creation by improving the production and productivity of existing producers and attracting quality new investments and so on. Next, please. So the strategic goal is to make, now the contribution for the manufacturing sector is around 12, 14, around yes, 10% of the GDP. So the strategic goal is to make it, around 17%. And the capital, capacity utilization is 50% now. So the goal is to make it 85%. Then export earning is $450 million now, and in 2029, 2030, it will be 9 billion. And the employment is now 175,000, and in 2029-30, it will be 850,000. And the domestic market share will be, from 30, will jump to 60%. Next, please. So we have a new draft manufacturing industry policy, and the focus of this new manufacturing policy is to build a globally competitive industry through increasing exports, import substitution, increasing the share of local producers, and increase the effectiveness of incentives and credit provision, develop competitive products based on natural resources and value proposition, so that we achieve the share of manufacturing industry in GDP, the amount and share of foreign exchange earnings from the manufacturing sector, and the amount and share of employment opportunities, and improve the income and living standards of the workers. Next, please. So the manufacturing policy has 4 key results. One is to increase production and productivity. 2 is increase technology utilization and innovation. 3rd is increase the share of the manufacturing industry in export and import. And 4th, establish an inclusive and sustainable manufacturing system. Next, please. So basic, sector profiles are, the first one is agro-processing. So agro-processing is the largest manufacturing industry in Ethiopia, and it is dominated by the fast-moving consumer goods industry. In addition to the size of this sector becoming significant, its growth trend reveals future opportunities, with growing local demand for agro-processing products, providing a substantial market and incentives in place for processors to export their finished products competitively. In June 2022, the government of Ethiopia removed import duties and value-added tax levied on animal feed products. The milk production of the country is 51.8 million liter, and meat production is, including poultry, is 4.13 kilotons. So this is the target that we are going to reach. So the food production will be, now it's 25,000 tons. So by 2020, 2030, it will be 1.1 billion tons. Warehouse receipt system proclamation strengthens the value chain by reducing post-harvest losses and improving productivity quality. During the first 10 months of the current, the last year, the last fiscal year, Ethiopia exported 232,000 metric tons of coffee and earned a record-breaking revenue of more than $4 billion. Next, please. So it is continued. So priority value chains in the agro-processing are, wheat, maize, coffee, tomato, soybean, pineapple, avocado, banana, passion fruit, sweet potato, turmeric, ginger, red meat, dairy, poultry, and honey. So this will be, this can be, produced as snacks, the manufacturing processors can be snacks manufacturing, animal feed, honey packaging, grain mills, poultry processing, and all the lists that you see here. Next, please. So we have integrated agro-industrial parks. Then we have 3 until now, but the plan is to increase these integrated agro-industry parks. So these industrial parks provide affordable land and sheds, one-stop shop for all government licensing services, housing infrastructure for employees, as well as daycare and schooling services available for families, laboratory services, built-in access electricity and water, built-in sheds, economies of scale, training centers. The rural transformation centers help to collect and sort agricultural inputs for a streamlined processes located close to transport and infrastructure, just as airports. And these 3 operational integrated agro-industrial processing parks are Bure, Bulbula, and Yirgalam. You can see their locations on the map. Next, please. So these are the priority value chains that are highlighted by the Ministry of Industry. Next, please. This is also the second chart. So the second sector is pharmaceuticals and health. So Ethiopia's pharmaceutical sector is growing in tandem with the health sector expenditure. The pharmaceutical sector is mainly driven by imports. Ethiopia is currently importing more than 85% of its pharmaceutical needs, a big gap, and that is yet to be filled by manufacturing locally. Government incentives include pooled procurement of raw materials, technology acquisition grants, human resource development facilitation, and raw materials are available, locally available raw materials, gelatin capsule manufacturing, development of biotechnology parks, and the presence of a bioequivalence study center and Qilinto Industrial Park, which is dedicated for pharmaceutical production. The market size of the sector is expected to be double by 2030, and where the government of Ethiopia will provide special support for export of locally produced GMP compliant products. In 2020 it is $30 million, and in 2025 will be $80 million. Research and development in 2020 it is 1 company, and we are planning to increase the companies in 2025 to 3. Product manufacturing, WHO pre-qualified in 2024, so this will be 15 in 2025. And API manufacturing in 2020, 4 companies, so these companies will jump to 20 in 2025. So potential, these pharmaceutical companies, if they, place their manufacturing unit in Ethiopia, they'll have, the potential to serve the more than 20 billion pharmaceutical market of Africa. Next, please. So the opportunities are, cosmetics and herbal medicines, pharmaceuticals, biological products, vaccines, diagnostics and laboratory instruments, medical supplies and equipment, contract research organizations. Next. So then the third sector is textile and apparel industry. So Ethiopia is emerging as a regional hub for sourcing garment endowed with needed industrial inputs such as cotton to facilitate value chain investment. Target set to earn $30 billion export by 2030, and managed to attract leading global brands such as Wuxi, Carvico, Kingdom, and Sunshine. So the export increase earning of the sector from 171.7 million in 2019-20 to $1.2 billion in 2029-30. The job creation similarly will be, now it is close to 132,000. So in 2029-2030 it will be 345,000. So increased GVP of the sector from 19 billion birr, it is Ethiopian currency, in 2019-20 to 71 billion birr in 2029 and 30. So it has, high potential for local cotton production and sourcing. We have 3 million hectares for cotton production availability. Size of the global apparel market in 2021 was 1.55 trillion USD. Industrial parks and clusters developed both by government and private developers. There are more than 20 industrial parks developed by both government and private developers. And we have large and ever increasing domestic market. We are the second most populous country in Africa next to Nigeria with 120 million population. Next, please. So the opportunities are inputs available are, fibers, cotton, other natural and man-made fibers, yarn of different counts and fabrics, knitted and woven. Current processing opportunities, ginning, integrated textile mills, spinning, weaving, and or knitting, dyeing and printing, production of garments and sportswear, among others. The manufacturing of knitted and crocheted fabrics, carpets, etc. Home textiles, trims, accessories, dye stuffs, chemicals, and packaging materials, and technical textiles. Next, please. And the fourth sector is the leather industry. Ethiopia has one of the largest livestock population in the world, and there are 70 million cattle, 42 million sheep, and 52 million goats. The leather sector gets 44% of hides and 94% of skins produced. It is first in Africa for livestock. More than 550 small, medium, and large industries, of which 24 are FDIs, foreign direct investments. Currently, Ethiopia is exporting mainly finished leather, followed by growing shoe exports. Other leather items, including gloves, bags, and small leather articles, have a large potential for export market. Ethiopia's leather export valued, 128 million in 2017. So in the next 10 years plan, the leather sector exported by 2030 will be $800 million finished leather export, constitute the larger proportion, close to 58% of the export value. Investments in tanneries, footwear, manufacturing, leather gloves, manufacturing, and other leather products manufacturing offers investors a significant opportunity to serve both the growing local market and engage in export. Better elasticity in leather, especially good for gloves. So the opportunities in the leather sector are tanning of hides and skins, accessories, soles, synthetic sewing thread, plastic linen, shoelaces, zippers, buckles, chemical inputs, manufacturing for tannery use, footwear, gloves, and other leather products manufacturing. These are the statistics for the leather industry. So next, please. So the fifth sector is chemical and construction input industry. So the investment opportunity here is the basic chemicals, including ethanol based on local raw materials, including fertilizer and nitrogen soda ash, rubber, PVC granules from ethyl alcohol, caustic soda and chlorine based chemicals, carbon and activated carbon, precipitated calcium carbonate, ballpoint ink and varnish, soap and detergent cleaning and polishing preparations, perfumes and toilet preparations, pesticides, herbicides, and or fungicides. So priority sector is, as an import substitution sector, close to 104 million USD is saved by the sector in the past 5 years alone. Performance and plan, export earning from 13 million in 2019-20 to 224 million in 2029-30. Jobs from 11,000 in 2019-20 to 142,000 in 2029-30. So large domestic market, abundant labor force, cheap electric power, infrastructure in place, incentives from the government. Next, please. So the sixth sector would be metal and engineering industry. So this priority sector, again, this is also an import substitution priority sector for the government. And in terms of import substitution, close to 230 million USD is saved by the sector. increase import earnings from 4.3 million in 2019 to 2020 to 71 million in 2029 to 30. Jobs from 3,100 to 104,400. Large domestic market also available for this sector. Abundant labor force, cheap electric power, and infrastructure in place. So the opportunities here are machineries, equipment, tools, accessories, spare parts, engineering and fabrication, metal and steel manufacturing industries, automotive industries, electrical and electronics. Inputs available are availability of iron ore deposit in Mahara, Oromia, and Tigray states. Next, please. So this is a movement, begun by the government. It means Ethiopia Tamrut means let Ethiopia produce. It loosely translated like this. So with these objectives, to develop a competitive and sustainable manufacturing industry, to realize economic transformation and contribute to the success of the national homegrown economic reform agenda. It hopes to alleviate bottlenecks through integrated and sustainable approach while creating a strong manufacturing community. The pillars are ownership by stakeholders to create an enabling business environment. The second one is research-oriented problem solving, and the third one is continuous support to the manufacturing industry, and the fourth one is creating competitive local products and production processes. So the focus areas will be export promotion and import substitution, capacity utilization, policy and strategy development, and so on. Next, please. Thank you very much for taking your time. I have next one, please. Here for anyone who, this is my card. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tekle, for that very detailed information about opportunities. Friends, all this information, we will request you to give us the presentation to the chamber so that it can be made available to our members. And of course, we have very good friends now in the Ethiopian High Commission office. So basically, everybody can approach them at ease through the Chamber of Commerce. In fact, our friends from the Ethiopian embassy, they have to catch a flight very early, immediately after this program. At 5 o'clock, their flight is at 5 o'clock. So what we do is, anybody wanting, 3, 4, 5 people who want to interact with them, they can sit inside and have a one-to-one interaction. Meanwhile, we continue with the other presentations. And now I request His Excellency the Consul General of Malaysia, Mr. Yusuf, to please come and tell us about the opportunities of doing business with Malaysia. That's all. I think not too many people will be in a position to interact, so we have to restrict the numbers.
Because we don't want to take too much of the time. Afternoon session is a challenging session, so. Oh, okay.
Well, they sort of the videos-friendly policy.
All right.
Malaysia's economic landscape.
So, first, thank you, Rohit, for the introduction. Dear colleagues from various missions here in India, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So, first and foremost, I would like to also join my colleague by congratulating the newly installed leadership of the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So I wish the new team all the best in your undertaking for 2023. At the outset, also on behalf of the Consul General of Malaysia in Mumbai, actually we are based in Mumbai, I would like to express our deep appreciation to the SGCCI for inviting us to be part of this program today. I also would like to thank all of you for spending some of your time, precious time, weekend time, to be with us today also. So it will be a wonderful opportunity to be able to interact with you regarding economic relationship and opportunities between Malaysia and India here in the historical city of Surat. So I will be delivering some overview about Malaysia-India trade relation, while also, of course, you can shift the focus here and there, but then we'll try. Right. Malaysia and India is not new. We established our relationship from very beginning, since our independence. So it's really easy. If you want to know how old is Malaysia, you need to check how old is the relationship between Malaysia and India. It's the same, 66 years old. So we remain close and friendly. We are pleased that our bilateral trade performance for last year increased from 16.82 billion to 19.61 billion USD. So of course the top of the list is palm oil. We export a lot of palm oil and palm oil based product to India, and also crude petroleum oil. And we import a lot from India, non-crude petroleum, and also pozzolani and aluminium, etc. Well, in terms of our latest economic performance, we grew by 5.6% in the first quarter, 2023. So our strength lies in many aspects, actually, including good manufacturing practices, reliable suppliers, compliant to international standards, pro-business government policies, excellent track record, and well-developed trade support facility. Malaysia, we placed number 27 in terms of 2023 World Competitive Ranking, which is second to Singapore in our region. We still attract FDIs for the past 10 years. Malaysia is the world's largest exporter for 25 products, such as palm oil, optical and scientific equipment, electronic and electrical part, rubber glove, glass tube, and machine for weaving textile. Right. With regard to expanding this Malaysia-India economic and trade ties, we actually in 2011 we conclude this what I call MySECA, actually Malaysia-India Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, right? Which is to boost trade and investment. Actually, it includes services, investment, economic cooperation, custom and technical barriers. And MySECA also address non-tariff barriers and mechanism on preferential trading arrangements, such as the capacity, the trading program, which aim to enable for the companies to attain the standard and conformance measures. And some also major part of the liberalization of the MySECA is actually for the temporary movement of workers in commercial sector, including healthcare, finance, information technology, and also engineering. So Malaysia, we facilitate because you can always approach our High Com in Delhi to get multiple entry visa. If you are professional, you have business in Malaysia, right? You can apply for multiple entry visa. If you are doctors, you are engineer, if you have anything got to do, even tourism also nowadays. So if you have a kind of wedding package or something, you can always apply for visa there. So furthermore, the goods from India also can obtain greater market access to Malaysia through MySECA, including products such as cotton garment, basmati, rice, mangoes, eggs, trucks and motorcycles. I just name a few. The list is quite long, it's quite comprehensive. And then we also have this ASEAN-India Free Trade Area, IFTA. We would like to welcome India to consider Malaysia as a hub to penetrate ASEAN market as well. Only 33 countries have transitioned to high income status, but we believe and we are working toward it to achieve this goal, because in terms of digitally connected, we are one of the most connected in the region. So we also one of the open trading economy in a strategic location. We are also economically resilient because our gross net income growth at average 6.9% per year. Well, that's all I can say for the moment, because we will have our interaction later for whoever interested to meet us. So before I end my remarks, once again, I would like to thank you, SGCCI, for organizing this wonderful event. There are many areas of significant cooperation between India and Malaysia that we can explore. India becoming one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Malaysia believes that there is ample scope for both countries to work together in ensuring mutual growth and prosperity. Please, if you have any inquiries, you can always drop us an email. You can also connect with my colleague here, Mr. Shazri Hidayat, my consul for investment. also based in Mumbai, and Mr. Vivek. Oh, Mr. Vivek not here. There. Okay, Mr. Vivek also from our MIDA team, Malaysian Investment Development Authority team. So we are based in Mumbai. We would like to welcome you to our office to chat, to discuss. And so we look forward actually to exploring further opportunities for expansion and diversify this bilateral trade for mutual benefit. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for a very detailed presentation on the opportunities for doing business with Malaysia. In fact, we have gone to his office in Mumbai, and they are also, and the office people are also very, very supportive. And I invite all of you to go at any point of time when you want to visit them for any detailed discussion. You can approach the chamber and we can arrange the meetings for you. Before we move ahead, I have a small, we are waiting for the president, he is just about to come. Meanwhile, can we ask the Ethiopian officers to come out? We want to release the brochure. We continue with the program, and as soon as the president comes, we will take this opportunity to release this brochure. It's a wonderful brochure designed and with a lot of detailed information about business with a few countries. So meanwhile, I invite the Acting Consul General of Indonesia, Mr. Ubaidi, to give his presentation on the opportunities of doing business with Indonesia.
Good afternoon. Good namaste. Honorable member of the STCCI, ladies and gentlemen, in this opportunity I would like to deliver that first of all, for me it is a great honor for myself and for the Consulate of General of Republic Indonesia in Mumbai to be amongst you in this important interactive session with trade officials from ASEAN and other nations. Today, I wish to extend my congratulations to the Honorable President of STCCI for the new elected today as the President, Mr. Shri Ramesh Pakasya. Yes, I wish today's meeting could not only maintain closer relation between Indonesia and India, but it will also help to construct a long-term mutual benefit for our business relationship. Please, in this opportunity, allow me to share some few slides of presentation. The other file, this is last one. So the relation between Indonesia and India has been established a long time ago, since 15th centuries. Even in the 7th centuries, we have from one kingdom of Indonesia has sent a college student to the Nalanda University in Bihar. In the 11th centuries, some Gujarati come to Indonesia already, and because our relation in political and cultural is not any matter anymore, so we would like to move to the. So in the monitor you can see that there are many sectors we can make operation in natural resource, agriculture, major industry, major imports, growing export, major imports, infrastructure. Next. In 2018, our national leaders between my President Joko Widodo and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inked a comprehensive economic partnership. One of them, they are agreed to boost our bilateral trade target to become $50 billion by 2025. And also we want to increase our investment from India to Indonesia, then from Indonesia to India. Next, please. This is the number of bilateral trade between Indonesia and India in the last like 13 years. It is the number always increase except on the pandemic era. In the last pandemic era, 2019, still 16 billion US dollar. 2020 decreased to become 14 billion US dollar, but on 2021 already rebound to become 20 billion US dollar, and last year increased very significant to become 32.7 US dollar. Next, please. This is some number of our bilateral trade. So for now, yes, Indonesia still we still have a surplus for our bilateral trade. That's why we are open to have a more cooperation and to make a more balance with the balance between Indonesia and India. Next, this again. Then next, this is some main export import between Indonesia and India. From India export to Indonesia is petroleum oil, from bituminous mineral, corn, paraxylene, peanuts, shell, and so on. While Indonesia export to India mainly of two products, that is coal and palm oil. The other coal and palm oil is almost 60-70% itself. Next, this is some SS code for the product. The top 10 commodities Indonesia export to India, and its number. It was based on 2021 and 2022. Next, please. And while we are import from India, this is the SS code number, the number and the volume, the last 2 years. Next, please. How about the investment? Regarding investment, yes, the number is not too big. Last year, it was 127 million US dollar. The number of project is 1,166. Next, please. This is some Indian companies that already established in Indonesia. Now the number is about 60 companies. To mention some of this, TVS, SR, Minda Automotive, Asian Paints, GMR Group, Tata Power, and so on. Next, please. While Indonesian companies in India, for now we have 10. Samudra Shipping, Tanindo Seed, Mayora, Java Compete, Garuda Food, Anabatik, Nabati, Gojek, Traveloka, and next, Vaxindo. Next, please. Why Indonesia? This is the question when we are promoting our Indonesian to the investor, because we have a stable growth of economic. Of course, India has a bigger economic number, but we also stable in the last 3 years, already stable after the COVID. Projected to be 7th largest economy in the world by 2030. I believe India will reach number 2nd. We have a 4th most populous country in the world. This year already almost 280 million Indonesia population. Fast growing middle class. We have a community to enhance ease of doing business in the country. Then this one is our newest policy, the implementation of job creation law, a breakthrough in Indonesia legal system. With this law, we simplified 77 laws to become one, to improve investment climate, to harmonize central regional policy, simplify regulation, and prevent and minimize corruption, creating fast job opportunities, and provide protection and facilities for small, medium enterprises and cooperatives. We have now, later on, we can discuss bilaterally how is the incentive for new investment with the minimum number of what something. Next. This some sector we are offering from industry, nickel, EV battery, toll road, vocation, higher education, university, and so on. Next. This also some number how we can discuss after this bilaterally. If you interested to have some trade or investment on specific sectors. Next, please. This is Indonesia, one of the biggest producer of nickel. But for now, we are not allowed again to export raw material. So we want to make an industry of battery nickel. There will be more incentive for investors who are interested to put investment on this sector. Next. This is a list of emerging sectors: medicine, digital innovation, energy transition, and textile. For medicine, 92% of Indonesia import of bulky drug come from two countries, India and China. So we are still depend on you. For digital innovation, I believe India one of the most advanced. So we will come for your technology, AI, IT, and so on. And for energy transition, I believe India also advanced in solar panel and wind power. For textile, about 25% of Indonesia textile machinery are imported from India. The challenging is now the machines are aging, and we need to improve the productivity by replacing the textile machine with the new one. So this is opportunity also for you. This is how Indonesia policy to boost FDI through priority sectors, such I have been mentioned, and pharmacy and medical equipment industry, automotive industry, electronic industry, renewable industry, infrastructure, mining, and so on. For infrastructure, because we are Indonesian, we move our capital from Jakarta to the, we call it the new one, Nusantara. The next new capital will be a green capital, mean all 90% of vehicles that are in the new capital should be based on green energy. So it is a big opportunity also. Next. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And this last one, last plate. And this is in this opportunity, I would also to invite you to come to the next Trade Expo Indonesia. It will be conducted on offline 18 to 22nd October and offline from 18 to 18 October to 18 December. For detailed information, we can talk bilaterally after this. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ubadi, and for the information. We will go with the release of the brochure for M84, and I request all the guests and all the office bearers of the Chamber of Commerce. General and the Indonesian Consulate General, you can go to the room inside and you can have a one-to-one meeting, continue with some of the members present over here. Milind Godbole from the Deputy High Commission Office in Ahmedabad of UK.
Thank you, Rohit. Could we please run the video now?
Progress is the space between where we've been
really were touching on the sort of limits of aviation possibility
and where we're going. Progress is the need to grow, to build, to innovate. Progress is the destination and the journey. It's about forward motion and forward thinking, delivering bigger, smarter, greener growth. Greener design, greener living, greener industry. So you better be ready, because progress moves fast, and once it starts, it's unstoppable. But it's also an opportunity to be part of history in the making.
This project is an attempt to go break the world electric speed record. And I can't think of a better way of demonstrating just how fast this technology is moving and how soon this is going to be in everybody's lives.
What progress needs is a vision, a direction, leaders who can see things differently, partners who can do things differently. And above all, progress needs a home. A place with the right skills, the right spirit, where innovation and creativity thrive. A land to lay the foundations for a future that is more sustainable, secure, and resilient. A place where good ideas become great.
Thank you, Ninad. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Milind Godbole, I'm a senior advisor. First thing first is to congratulate the new office bearers. I'm sure they would continue the progress helping the Surat Chambers. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I also like to thank you for braving. I'm sure it's very difficult to address the audience in the post-lunch session. If it is a Surat, more difficult. If it is a Sunday, don't ask me. So I must congratulate you all for, being here with us patiently. I'm not too sure whether you find this more sort of brave sort of thing, rather going home on Surat, but I can see most of us, most of you, including me, are not having our best partners with us. So I'm sure that you would have found more challenging going home rather sitting here. Right? So thank you very much, Surat. કેમ છો મજામાં બહુ ડિફિકલ્ટ જમ્યા પછી બિલકુલ. So I would not stop here because most of my senior colleagues and the dignitaries from the foreign consulates would use very usually these two sentences and they would stop because they don't know Gujarati. I can go on and on. I can speak your dialect, I can speak many other dialects, I can speak many languages, but today I will focus on the trade, investment and the special relationship that UK has with the Surat. Forget about the 200 years old history. Surat was the spot, Surat was the location where Britishers came and did whatever they wanted to do. I'm not going into that. You all people sitting here know more than me. In fact, I met a gentleman from the Surat Chamber who educated me in sharing with me some of the facts which I was not knowing, which I'm sure you also don't know. The bank, the word bank, Bank of Baroda, Bank of SBI came from Surat. The hundi, the draft, word that you came from Surat. So Surat has been pioneering in showing the world as to how to do business. And that's the reason, jokingly, not jokingly, seriously enough, I am known as the friend of Surat Chamber. I've been doing this for last 23 years and I'll be doing that, continue to do that and complete my silver jubilee in 2025. Right? So I'm friend of Surat, friend of you. So please feel free to engage with me if you have any questions, any opportunity that I wish to talk about, I'm here, and we have got excellent friend like Rohit here and number of others would be more than happy to take your questions connecting with me. Let me just dabble upon some of the facts that the reason I have not chosen to speak or go through the printed documents or the speech, because I wanted to make it as interesting and as interactive with you. So let me first dabble upon few facts and talk about the trade figures. 25 years back, I was sent to Gujarat by then Prime Minister of the UK and the High Commissioner of the UK, asking me to set up an operation in Gujarat, and I was the first one. I had no idea where Gujarat is. Of course, I am from Gujarat, but I did not know as to why I was sent to Gujarat. But you can now imagine, and I kept on asking this question to my political masters and political bosses, as to why you are sending me somewhere where we are not there. He said, there is a reason. I kept on asking next year, what was the reason? They did not share that with me. In the year 2000, they shared with me, which I am sharing with you now, and you would be pleased to know, we all knew that somebody is going to take over Gujarat as most powerful person. Do I have to tell you who that person is? No. You guessed it, you are right. So then we set up our office, and we became the first foreign diplomatic office to have a formal trade office in Ahmedabad, looking after trade investment between Gujarat and the UK. We then escalated it to, and then now it's a full-fledged diplomatic mission. So UK is the first and the only diplomatic mission that has got presence in Gujarat. No one has got. There are various other colleagues are setting up their trade offices, but we are the only one who have been in Gujarat. Since then, what we did, we excelled in each and every field. And I would like to start with as I said earlier, I want to make it as interactive as possible. So what I'll ask you a few questions. What does that comes in your mind when you say A, letter A? Don't tell me A for apple and B for ball. A for agribusiness, because we are in the Surat chamber, right? We need to talk about the business. A for agribusiness, A for aerospace. I can go on and on and on, and I can tell you the facts about as to why UK is the global leader in each and every segment. Aerospace, the commercial aircrafts, what do you think of when you see it from outside? The wings, the radars, the cabins, the engines. From where you think all these things are coming? The UK is the global supplier of the engines, Rolls-Royce. Doesn't require an introduction. Whatever that you see once we enter into the aircraft, all the galleys, everything, seats, again 80% market share of UK manufacturers. So these are the little known facts that not many people are aware of, and that's the reason I selected this different topic to talk about, which I think would make you quite interesting. Agribusiness, everyone knows the value addition. We are not doing enough value addition in India, unfortunately, but we are on that path. I won't give you the names of the economies who are doing some 25% or 50% of the value addition, but what UK does, 188% of the value addition on the agri product. You go to any retail chain, Marks and Spencer, Debenhams, you name anyone, they would have large food retail chains. You pick up a high quality product and you start liking it about. What is it? It's not about the product, it's not about the taste, but the appearance, the marketing, the labeling, how it is packaged, and that's called the 188% of the value addition. Come to the letter B, and I have got up to Z. I won't go up to that, don't worry, otherwise it will be taken 2 more days. B for biotechnology, B for number of others. So I'll keep on asking you this question. C for chemical. It's the specialty chemical. We don't manufacture run on the mill. All of us are not only using or having one mobile phone. Nowadays the trend is having at least 2 mobile phones, if not 3. Who manufactures the chemical that makes the screen? You can swipe that screen. That comes from the UK, right? The glass. Who invented the glass? Any idea? Sir Pilkington from the UK invented the glass and shared his IP technology with all other glass manufacturers. You name a glass, Guardian, these, that, they're all Sir Pilkington has shared this technology. So likewise, we can go to D, defense, number of other. Not many people know UK is the 3rd largest defense exporter in the world after US and after France. So that way going on and on. E for energy, but not. I can see some young faces. I'd like to touch upon E for education. The top 3 universities out of top 5 in the world comes from the UK. You can name it. Any ideas, any answers to that? Oxford, Cambridge, UCL. So these are the top 3 universities in top 5. If you look at the top 10 list, you would find 5. If you look at the top 20, you will find more than 7. So that's how UK is more about the high quality educations. And these are the very, I would say, temple of educations. The oldest university in the world is in the UK, which is more than 950 years old. That is St. Andrews. Oxford, Cambridge are more than 650 years old. So these are the facts. These are the opportunities which I want to talk about. I'll take you downstairs, up to tea, travel and tourism. Everyone wants to travel nowadays to abroad, overseas. So these are the trade factors. We started Indo-British partnership. We set it up this mechanism in the year 2000. We had no clue which are the sectors that we should be focusing on. We started building this relationship brick by brick. We achieved 21 billion sterling of trade partnership with India. Now everyone would be wondering, as if right from the morning everyone is talking about billions and billions, what does that mean? To help you out there, $1 million is about 8,000 crore, right? 1 billion sterling is about 10,000 crores. Now you can imagine we established 21 billion sterling. I will cite a small example or an incident which would again interest and make all proud. 20 years ago, I was in one of the meetings in London. They called in about 36 colleagues of mine from 36 large economies. And mind you, India was not a partner of G20 then. Nowhere it was India. They asked all of us to make a list of top 20 companies, top 20 countries, who would potentially invest into the UK. I stood up, I put India's name. Everyone started laughing at me. Come on, we don't know you. How can you go and put your India's name? So India was not part of G20. I made India as a part of then G20, and with a promise and a challenge that don't laugh, I will laugh at you after 5 years, give me 3 years. Within 3 years, I made India enter into that top 20 league. Imagine from nowhere. We, when I say I, we as a team made India enter into that top 20 league. 5 years down the line, we made India top 15. 10 years later, we made India as a top 5. Ask me where India is today. In the top 3. We overthrown number of other, the developed countries, so-called developed countries. I always challenge them. Prove me.
Thank you, Milind, for a very interactive session, which was very much needed at the end of 4 very exhaustive, detail-giving opportunity sessions. So, friends, with that, I think we come to the end of this formal program on opportunities session 1 in the Business Connect program that is launched by the President under the M84 series. The interaction, one-to-one interaction sessions are going on inside with the Consulate Office of Indonesia and Malaysia. Milind is also available over here. So now this floor is open for anybody of you who want to interact with any of them. So you can take your call, and depending upon the availability,